Imagine for a second that we could see the invisible. Well, today we're going to talk about a technology called Sparrow that's doing something pretty revolutionary. It's basically creating an MRI for a city's air. And yeah, it's a total game changer, turning these invisible threats into data we can actually see and use. To really get why this is so important, let's start with a story.
So, let's meet Sophia. She's 7, she's got asthma, and like a lot of kids in big cities, some days are just a real struggle for her. Her doctor knows she gets these flare-ups, but figuring out the exact trigger, well, that often feels like a complete mystery. But what if we could solve that mystery? What if her doctor could look past the clinic walls and see the precise environmental stuff that might be making her sick? Street by street, even hour by hour. Okay, to get there, we first have to wrap our heads around the core problem, which is how we currently see, or more accurately, how we don't see air pollution. Think about it. When you pull up the air quality on your phone, what you're seeing is this super broad picture. It's really just a regional estimate, kind of like a smoothed out average that's stretched over a massive area. We all know these heat maps, right? But here's the thing. They are not telling you the whole story. They give you a vague sense of the air in your general area, but they can't tell you about the air right here, on your street, or at this specific playground. It's an educated guess, not a real measurement of the air you are literally breathing in right now. And that is a huge, huge problem, because pollution is what experts call hyper-local. And what that means is it can change dramatically, and I mean up to 1,000 times different, from one city block to the very next. All depends on traffic, construction, you name it. And wow, this slide just says it all, doesn't it? On the left, you've got that regional guess we've been talking about. And on the right, that's the street-level reality that Sparrow is capturing. It's seriously the difference between a blurry, out-of-focus photo and a crystal-clear, high-definition picture. So how in the world do you get that high-definition image of the air? Well, this is where the Sparrow solution comes in. It all begins with these things. These are super advanced mobile sensors that Sparrow designed, and they get mounted right on top of vehicles. You can think of them as the eyes of the whole network, constantly sampling the air as they drive all over the city. Now, the strategy here is just so clever. Instead of trying to build some massive new infrastructure from scratch, Sparrow just partners with existing high-mileage fleets. We're talking about Ubers, taxis, postal trucks, vehicles that are already crisscrossing the city 24/7. So by putting sensors on them, Sparrow creates this living, breathing map of air quality, and they do it without adding a single extra car to the road. Okay, so we have all this data getting collected by sensors on vans, but how does that turn into a powerful tool that a doctor can actually use? Let's walk through it. The whole process is really pretty seamless. Step 1, you get the sensors out there on the fleet. Step 2, they start collecting a ton of real-time data. Step 3, powerful AI crunches all that data, finds patterns, and predicts risk. And then the magic happens in Step 4. Those insights get delivered directly into the one place that can make the biggest difference, the patient's health record. Which brings us right back to Sophia. Because with this system running, her doctor suddenly has this incredibly powerful new tool. It completely changes the conversation about her health. So now, when Sophia's doctor pulls up her chart, she doesn't just see the usual stuff like vitals and medications. She also sees this, an environmental exposure risk score. It's a simple number, from low to high, that instantly gives her a whole new layer of context about the air Sophia's been breathing. And the doctor can even drill down into that score. The platform gives them a full risk assessment. You can see her exposure over the last 24 hours, her baseline risk for the month, and even a forecast for the next few days. This is the crucial shift right here. It allows care to go from just reacting to problems to actively preventing them from happening in the first place. And check this out. With this trend analysis, a doctor can now see the exact peaks in nasty pollutants like PM 2.5. That's the really fine particulate matter that can get deep into your lungs. They can see it over the last month and line it up with the patient's symptoms. So that big spike in week 3, that's not just some abstract number on a chart anymore. It could be the very thing that triggered Sophia's asthma attack. So when you boil it all down, this is the fundamental shift. We're moving away from the old way, vague advice and just reacting after someone's already sick. Now we're in a new era with specific, data-driven guidance. Honestly, it's the difference between guessing and knowing. But the impact of this technology goes way, way beyond a single doctor's office. As incredible as that is, This is really a tool that can help us build healthier cities for every single one of us. With this kind of data, city planners can actually identify clean corridors for people to walk or bike. They can target specific high-pollution streets and figure out how to fix them. They can protect schools with incredibly detailed air quality data and create this amazing link between public health policy and the doctors on the ground. It all really comes down to this simple but incredibly powerful mission: protecting children breath by breath. It's all about making the invisible enemy of air pollution finally visible, and by doing that, giving us the power to actually fight back. So in the end, the Sparrow platform isn't just about cool sensors and big data. It's a whole new lens for seeing our environment and ultimately for protecting our health. Which kind of leaves us with one last big thought. We started this whole thing with air quality, but this technology opens up a much bigger question. What other invisible challenges could we finally start to solve if we only had the right tools to see them?